Hello everyone, this is a new video in the series of Helm. In this video, we will be covering the concept of subchart and dependencies. A subchart is a Helm chart that is a dependency of another Helm chart. So we have a parent Helm chart which acts as an umbrella Helm chart, and then we have a dependency Helm chart, a child Helm chart which acts as a subchart. So subchart has its own chart.yaml, values.yaml, and template, and it is deployed along with the parent chart. So sometimes there is a condition that if certain condition is met, only then the dependency Helm chart or a child Helm chart is deployed. Otherwise, it is not deployed. So let's see with an example now. If I go back to my IntelliJ, okay, and if I look into the Argo CD Helm chart, okay, so it is missing from here. Let me go here and just see, okay, missing from here. Okay, I'll do a tar. Let's see here. Argo CD, which we have already downloaded in one of our previous videos. Okay, now we have Argo CD folder. I'll just move this Argo CD folder to Helm chart folder. Argo CD folder to Helm charts folder. Okay, now if we go to Helm charts, if we go to Argo CD, okay, so I have the Argo CD folder here. Now if I go to chart.yaml, if I look into this chart.yaml, okay, I have a dependency Helm chart which is mentioned here, which is a Redis HA Helm chart. So this Helm chart is deployed when Redis HA dot enabled is equal to true. So if I go to values.yaml, I go to Redis HA. If this is enabled, this is false right now. If it is enabled, then this Helm chart, which is a dependency Helm chart, will be installed. And now if I go to dependency Helm chart, it is inside the charts folder. So now if you see, it has its own chart.yaml and values.yaml. So now suppose if I delete this, it's a dependency Helm chart. So we can do a Helm dependency build, which will bring that chart inside the charts folder. So let me delete this also. Okay. Now if I do a, so suppose if I go to Argo CD and if I do Helm dependency build. Okay. So I think we don't have the repo of this dependency chart added here. So if I go to chart.yaml, this Helm chart is available in this repository and this should be added in our local so that the chart can be pulled. I'll go here and I'll do Helm repo Helm repo add and then I'll do Redis for example and then put the chart repository URL. Okay, now it has been added. If I again run the Helm repo list command, it is added. I can see. Now I'll do a Helm dependency build. So the chart is downloaded. Now we can see the chart is available here. So now if I go and enter this, if I go here, if I do tar, let's and Redis, you can see we have the Redis chart here. So this way we can bring in the Redis chart, which is a dependency Helm chart by doing a Helm dependency build. So I can now delete this zip. One of the common use case where this dependency Helm chart is used is usually in the organizations. What people do is like they have the Helm charts deployed into a single repository. Then they create a parent Helm chart where they add the chart which is in the repository as a dependency Helm chart and override the values. So suppose, for example, the my UAT, my app Helm chart is there. Okay. And this is the Helm chart which we have already pushed into our GitHub repository, which is acting as a Helm repository in one of our previous video. Now suppose that you want to deploy that chart into a UAT environment. So I have already created this chart.yaml. This is a parent Helm chart of which chart.yaml is there and it has a dependency of my app which is residing in the repository this. Okay. And the version of the Helm chart, the dependency Helm chart or the child Helm chart is 0.1.0 and this is the values.yaml and I am overwriting the values.yaml with the replica count of 7. So you need to add my app here. This is the name of the dependency Helm chart. So I have added the dependency with the name my app. Now if I go to this particular folder, so if I go back to cd my app hyphen uat and now if I do Helm dependency build, you can see the Helm chart was downloaded. This is the Helm chart. And now if you see, we were able to download because this Helm chart repo was already added. Otherwise, we would have got an error. If I do Helm repo ls, you can see the Helm chart was already added. The dependency Helm chart repo. This was already added here because of which we were able to download the dependency. Now, if I do Helm template dot, and if you see now, we have the complete YAML which will be rendered or which will be deployed once we deployed this Helm chart. And if I go to deployment, the number of replicas is 7, which is overridden from the values of the one which we have passed in the parent Helm chart. And now if you look, if you unzip this, this would be having a different replica count in values.yaml file. So I'll just untar this. I'll go to cd charts, next here to my app. Okay. Now if I go to my app folder, if I go to value.yaml, the replica count is 1. Broad values.yaml will not be considered here because usually the default values.yaml is picked up when we are not passing anything. So if you see that values.yaml, which has a replica count of 7, got overridden. This is the way usually a single Helm chart is used for deployment into production environment, UAT, and dev environment, where in the real-time scenario, the Helm charts are stored into a single repository, and then a parent Helm chart is created where the Helm chart stored in the repository is added as a dependency Helm chart, and then the values are overridden based on the environment, and the values are being deployed. So this is the role of a subchart and a dependency Helm chart. I hope this was helpful to you. Thanks for watching.